محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. 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 بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم رب شهر رمضان الذي أنزلت فيه القرآن وافترست على عبادك فيه الصيام صل على محمد وآل محمد وارزقني حج بيتك الحرام في عامي هذا وفي كل عام واغفر لي تلك الذنوب العظام فإنه لا يغفرها غيرك يا رحمن يا الله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. دعاء افتتاح. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك وأنت مصدر للثواب بمنك وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنكمة وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أذنت لي في دعائك ومسألتك فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي واجب يا رحيم دعوتي وكل يا غفور أسرتي فقم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها وحموم قد كشفتها وأسرتي قد أقلتها ورحمتي قد نشرتها وهلكتي بلائي قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله الذي لا مضاد له في ملكه ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه ولا شبيه له في عظمته. الحمد لله الفالق في الخلق أمره حمده الظاهر بالكرمة مجدوه الباسط بالجود يده الذي لا تنقص خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير مع حاجتي بي إليه عزيمتي وغناك عنه قديم وهو عندي كثير وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إنا عفوك عن ذنبي وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي وصفحتك عن ظلمي وسترك على قبيح عملي وحلمك عن كثير جرمي عندما كان من خطاي وعمدي أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه منك الذي رزقتني من رحمتك وأريتني من قدرتك وعرفتني من إجابتك فصرت أدعوك آمنا فاسألك مستأنسا لا خائفا ولا وجيلا مدلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك فإن أبطأ عني أتبت بجهلي عليك ولعل الذي أبطأ عني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلم أر مولا كريما أصبر على عبد لئيم منك علي يا ربي إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك وتتحبب إلي فتبغض إليك وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك كأن لي التطول عليك فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة لي والإحسان إلي والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك فارحم عبدك الجاهل وجد عليه بفضل إحسانك إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح فالك الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على علمه بعد علمه والحمد لله على عفوه بعد قدرته والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبه وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق وباسط الرزق فالق الإصباح ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام الذي بعدها بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادله ولا شبيه يشاكله ولا زهير يعازده قهر بعزة الأعزاء وتواضع لعظمة العظماء فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أناديه ويستر علي كل عورة وأنا أعصيه ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجازيه. فكم من موهبة هنيئة قد أعطاني وعزيمة مخوفة قد كفاني وبحجة مونكة قد أراني فأثني عليه حامدا وأشكره مسبحا. الحمد لله الذي لا يهتك حجابه ولا يغلق بابه ولا يرد سائله ولا يخيب آمله. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين وينجي الصالحين ويرفع المستضعفين ويزع المستكبرين ويهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. والحمد لله قاسم الجبارين مبير الظالمين مدرك الحاربين نقال الظالمين صريخ المستصرخين موزع حاجة الطالبين معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها وترجف الأرض وأمارها وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق ويرزق ولا يرزق ويطعم ولا يطعم ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك بخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتهننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفوتك وأهل الكرامة عليك من خلقك. اللهم وصل على علي أمير المؤمنين ووصي رسول رب العالمين عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم. وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة سيدة النساء العالمين. وصل على سبط الرحمة وإمام الهدى الحسن والحسين سيد شباب أهل الجنة. وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الهادي المهدي. وجدك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والعدل المنتظر وحفه بملائكتك المقربين وأيده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعله الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك. استخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله. مكن له دينه الذي ارتزيته له. أبدله من بعد خوفه أمنا يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا. اللهم أعزه وعزيز به وانصره وانتصر به وانصره نصرا عزيزا. وافتح له فتحا يسيرا واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. اللهم أظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تؤز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فحملنا وما كسرنا عنه فبلغنا. اللهم المم به شعثنا واشأب به صدعنا وارتق به فتكنا وكثر به كلتنا وعزز به ذلتنا واغني به عائلنا واجزي به عن مغرمنا واجبر به فقرنا وسد به خلتنا ويسر به أسرنا وبيز به وجوهنا وفك به أسرنا وانجح به طلبتنا وانجز به مواعيدنا واستجب به دعوتنا واعتنا به سؤلنا وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا واعتنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المؤتين. اشفي به صدورنا وأذهب به كيد قلوبنا واهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبيك صلواتك عليه وآله وغيبة ولينا وكثرة عدونا وقلة عددنا وشدة الفتن بنا وتزاهر الزمان علينا. فصل على محمد وآله وإنا على ذلك بفتح منك تؤجله وبزر تكشفه ونصر تؤزه وسلطان حق تظهره ورحمة منك تجللناها وعافية منك تلبسناها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم أثقل على أهل القبور السرور اللهم أغني كل فقير اللهم أشفي كل جائع اللهم اكسو كل عريان اللهم اقضي دين كل مدين اللهم فرج عن كل مكروب اللهم رد كل غريب اللهم فك كل أسير اللهم اسل كل فاسد من أمور المسلمين اللهم اشفي كل مريض اللهم سد فقرنا بغناك اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك اللهم اجزي عنا الدين واغننا من الفقر إنك على كل شيء قدير سورة المباركة الفاتحة.
This was Muslim Hassan reciting Dua Iftitah, substituting for Abbas Zaidi this evening. And now I'd like to invite Zain Nakhwi to make this evening's announcements, as well as say a few words about our special guest speaker for the second half of Ramadan, Hujjatul Islam Maulana Sayyid Muhammad Rizvi Sahib.
Assalamu alaikum mu'mineen. Just recognizing tonight's iftar sponsors, those are the families of Marzia Iqbal, Imad Iqbal, Aziz Namazi, Muhammad Abid, Muhammad Adil, Khawar Salim, and Abbas Zaidi of Marlborough. We are thankful for their participation, and may Allah bless these families in this life and the life hereafter. Tomorrow's program, inshallah, will begin at 6:45 p.m. and your hosts for tomorrow's iftar are the families of Saghir Abid, Ejaz Kizilbash, and Ali Sayyed. So they would like you, along with your family and friends, to join them tomorrow evening, beginning at 6:45 p.m. And as many of you know, we are privileged to have with us for the next 16 days Hujjatul Islam Maulana Sayyid Muhammad Rizvi of the United Kingdom. This is Moulana's actually his second visit to the US, and Astana is the first center he's visiting on the East Coast. Moulana holds a Bachelor's of Science in the Biomedical Sciences. He has studied in the Hausa in both Hum and in England. He speaks 4 languages, German, English, Urdu, and Farsi. He is a certified hijama practitioner, which is a method of blood cupping, and he has served as a resident alim in London for 5 years. He has traveled throughout Europe to deliver majalis. He has also delivered majalis in Canada. And his topic for the next 15 days of Ramadan will be the loyal companions of Imam Ali. And without any further delay, I would like to humbly invite Maulana Sayyid Muhammad Rizvi to the mimbar. Wal Muhammad wa ali Muhammad bawazib ul nare salawat.
And if I could invite the youth in the back to come sit with the angels over here in the front. The angels are sitting in the first and second rows. You probably don't see them, but they're there. So please come and join them. Thank you.
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Once again, if I could request you all to join me in reciting Surah Fatiha for the marhumeen of tonight's sponsor for iftar, Marhuma Kaniz Abbas Zaidi, Muhammad Faik Ali Sayyid, Shahid Salim, Javed Iqbal, Muhammad Taqi Ali Sayyid, Khawar Sultan, Sayyid Ali Zul Hassan Zaidi, Sayyida Tayyiba Naqvi Zaidi, Muhammad Shabir Ali, Muhammad Hadi Rizvi, Shaukat Ali Zaidi, Shahida Zaidi, Muhammad Iqbal, and Marhuma Zahida Begum. If I could request you all once again to remember the marhumeen with the Surah Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على الأفضل الموجودات العبد المؤيد الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد والمحمود الأحمد سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع ذنوبنا صاحب الوقار والسكينة المدفون بأرض المدينة أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الأولين والآخرين آمين يا رب العالمين. فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم وهو أصدق القائلين وقوله الحق بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all, accept your fast in the holy month of Ramadan, your du'as, your hajat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase in the tawfiqat of those who have sponsored the iftar, the volunteers, management who have worked hard to put these nights together, and inshallah the nights to come. I've got the pleasure and the honor of joining you all the way from London, UK, inshallah, until the morning of Eid, to inshallah discuss a theme for the next series, for the series of lectures until Eid, except on the nights of Imam Ali alayhi salam, which I will change to majalis. But other than that, series on the loyal companions, as Brother Zain has already introduced, Ashab-e Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam. And also goes to show that we as Shia not only believe in the Al, but also the Ashab. Because one of the criticisms which is lied, or which is put forward, the false propagandas, that the Shias do not believe in the Ashab. Whereas the Shia, when it comes to Ashura, cry for the Ashab of Imam Hussain alayhi salam. I mean, there is no one who cries for the companions other than the Shia. And so, these are important personalities who sometimes do not get the time that they deserve and the importance that they should get, because there are rawayat where Ahlul Bayt have praised their companions. I'll give an example. Sayyid al-Shuhada on the night of Ashur, he says, I don't know of my grandfather Rasulullah or my father Ali ibn Abi Talib having companions like I have companions. And of course this is something khas for Ashab al-Hussein alayhi salam. But for the month of, as it's the month of Ramadan, because Ashab Imam Hussein is for Muharram, as it's the month of Ramadan, I decided to choose the companions who were loyal to Amirul Mu'mineen, in the life of Amirul Mu'mineen, in the life, some of them were companions of Rasulullah and then Amirul Mu'mineen, like Salman, Abu Dhar, Miqdad, Ammar, and then some of them were companions of Ali ibn Abi Talib alone, Sa'sa ibn Suhan, Hujr ibn Adi, Maysam al-Tammar, Malik al-Ashtar, Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr. So these are all, so there's a difference. Sometimes you have a companion who's a Sahabi of Rasul, and then Sahabi of the Nabi and the Sahabi of the Wasi. And then you have someone who's Sahabi only of Amirul Mu'mineen. So they deserve really for Mu'mineen to pay attention to them because of what Ahlul Bayt have said regarding them. And so today, without any delay, I jump right into it. And remember, you know, if I and you praise someone, that's one thing. But if the Ma'soom praises someone, that's something else. That really speaks a lot for that personality which is being praised. And so inshallah, as we go through the nights, I will mention certain praises that the Ahlul Bayt have said for their companions. In other words, it's a muhr tasdeeq. And whether it's a stamp of certification that we certify Abu Zar. Or Amir al-Mu'mineen may say, I certify Malik al-Ashtar. That's only specific to certain companions. But allow me to begin by saying this. In the city of Madain, which was built by the Iranians, the Sassanid Empire back then, what today falls in the present day Iraq, there lay a man dead, old man, waiting to be given kafan, ghusl and dafan. And out of nowhere, Amir al-Mu'mineen approaches him on a horse. Ali ibn Abi Talib gives him ghusl, gives him kafan, does the salatul janaza, and then Ali buries him. You know who that is? Salman al-Muhammadi. This is that companion who was given ghusl, kafan, dafan, janaza by Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Where does Salman get this honor from? And so tonight I begin with Astaana-e-Farsi. So to find this honor, let's rewind right back to Isfahan, where Salman is born. One of the villages of Isfahan. Salman is born Salman al-Farsi. At that time his name was not even Salman. His original Iranian name was Rizvi. Rizvi, father's name is disputed, but some say Rizvi ibn Khushbuzan. Farsi, Isfahan, born in the house of a Zoroastrian priest, Zartusht, Atish Parast. His father was no ordinary man. He come from a privileged family. He come from a family of priests. He come from a family of religion. To the extent that the fire which they used to worship was in the house of Salman or Rizvi. And the job of protecting and safeguarding and preserving this fire was given to Salman. I'll use the word Salman, but of course at that time it's Rizvi. But this is how his life begins. His father's a landlord, he has farms, he works on fields. But there's something unique about the personality of Salman. His personality is that of a truth-seeking person. He was never interested in the fire. His heart always knew that there's something out there greater than the fire. And yet his father loved him so much that he wouldn't let him out. Until one day he enters the field, and as he gets lost, he comes by a church. Christianity was the religion of that time because Islam had not come yet. And so he enters the church and he sees the priests praying and worshipping. And he asks them, what is this? And so they explain to him Christianity. Jesus or Isa alayhi salam, God, a creator, straight away his heart is inclined to Christianity. So from there, he decides that I will say goodbye to my village, to my people, and I will travel to the land of Christianity. So he says, where is this religion from? They say, Asham. So Salman, believe it or not, leaves house, or rather flees house, because his father would not let him go. His father's a priest. He says, how can it be my son deserts our religion when we are the ones who safeguard the fire? We are the ones who preach Zoroastrianism. Yet Salman leaves or runs, flees, and he enters Syria. He enters Sham. Now look at this. He enters Sham. He joins the priests, converts to Christianity, and lives in Mosul, Iraq, northern Iraq. Where you remember when Daesh attacked, they were in control of Mosul. And that was a seat of Christianity. And so he begins to learn the teachings of Christianity. He serves the church. So Salman, from Zoroastrianism, becomes a Christian. Serves the church. Until from there he moves to another city in the area of Sham, Iraq. And eventually the historians say that his last teacher dies, and as he dies, he says to him, "Oh Salman, go towards the land where there's a lot of palm trees. For our scriptures say a prophet will rise in that land." So they knew, the Christians knew from the scriptures that there is a Ahmad who will come. So because of that, Salman now wants to go to the land of palm trees, or Hijaz. So when his teacher dies, this old Christian priest, this father, he dies. He waits for a caravan to take him there. And one day a caravan comes by and they say to him, "Where are you going?" He asks them, "Where are you going?" They say, "We go to the land of the palm trees." He says, "Take me with you. I'll pay you money." But what happens is that he's tricked. They take his money and they sell him on the way. So Salman was sold. He was, instead of being taken to Medina, Salman's money was taken, he was arrested, and then he was sold on the way. And for some time, he worked for his master. What happens, another Jewish slave trader comes who used to live in Yasrib from Medina. And when he sees the hard work of Salman, he says, "Look, I want to buy him." Salman becomes happy. Why? Because he knows if I am bought, I'll go to the land of the palm trees. And that's where he wants to end up. So he's sold off to this Jew who lives in Medina, and he works in his garden for many years. And by the way, this garden is still in Medina today. For those who have been to Hajj and Umrah, you will have seen it. But look at what this personality, this truth-seeking personality does to you. You know, like nowadays, when people revert to Islam, it's because they have a truth-seeking heart within their hearts. They say, look, there was a gap. When they go to the Haram of Imam Hussein, how many times have you seen people go to the Haram of Imam Hussein alayhi salam? They go to Mashhad and instantly they revert or convert. Why? There was something missing. We entered the Haram of Aba Abdullah, that peace entered the heart. There was something missing. We entered the Haram of Sultan-e-Khurasan. That peace entered the heart, that missing gap is gone. Something was missing for Salman. He kept looking for the haqq. He ended up from where? Isfahan in Medina. Now he's working. And all of a sudden, what he used to do, he used to climb on the palm trees and he used to get the dates down. So one day, he's on top of the palm tree, collecting the dates in the basket, and he looks down, he sees that his master is talking to his friend. And his friend comes running to him and he says, look, that prophet who says he's a prophet in Makkah has just entered Medina. This is Hijrah. So some of the historians, they say, look, Salman met the prophet after Hijrah. But some of the historians like Shaheed Salis Qazi Nurullah Shushtari, he says Salman met the prophet in Makkah. So there's ikhtilaf here. But anyhow, as soon as he hears that, he takes the dates, he comes down. He waits for the night. He knows where the prophet is, where the Muslims are. He takes a little bit of dates and he goes to the Muslims. And he knew what his teacher had said. He said that I know my teacher had said that one of the signs of the prophet is that he will not eat from sadaqah. So he takes his dates and he says to him, you are a stranger in the city, you are new, you are a guest. I have brought you some dates. Rasulullah is sitting, Amirul Mu'mineen, and some of the Muhajirun and the Ansar. Rasulullah says to him, what is this? He says, this is sadaqah. Rasulullah takes it and he distributes it to the companions. But he does not eat from it himself. And Salman says, look, this is the first sign. The Nabi will not eat sadaqah, but he distributes it to the companions. So there's a clear distinction between a Sahabi and a Nabi. And the Al, because Imam Ali didn't eat it either. Ali ibn Abi Talib did not eat it. He goes back, comes back the next day. He says, I brought you another, basket of dates. Rasulullah says, what is it? Is it sadaqah? He says, no, this time is hadiyah. So Rasulullah now takes it and he gives one to Imam Ali alayhi salam and distributes the rest. Now he eats it. He says, this is the second sign. That the Nabi will not take sadaqah, but he will accept hadiyah. One more sign was remaining, which was the Muhr Nabuwat. So Salman knew from his priest, teacher, who told him, the Prophet to come will have a sign on his back, from which a light will illuminate. So he comes to the back, and the Prophet knows. Prophet has ilmul ghaib. The Prophet knows. So because the Prophet knows, the Prophet removes his shirt back, and he says, have you seen what you wanted to see? As soon as he said that, Salman comes forward and he kisses the Muhr Nabuwat. And he says, Ya Rasulullah, this is the day I was waiting for. This is the day he left Isfahan and came to Yasrib. And Rasulullah after that says, you are no longer Ruzbeh, you are Salman. In fact, you are Salman ibn Islam. And you know, this is why one day when Salman enters the masjid and some of the Sahaba were sitting there, these were the Arab Sahabas, and they were, they were doing mufakhira, that we are this and we are that, and from this qabila and that qabila. My father's name is this, my grandfather was this, and this knight and this soldier was from our family and our tribe. And Salman enters, and one of them, without mentioning his name, he says, Ya Salman, what is your tribe? What is your father's name? You know what he says? He says, my father is this, and this is my father. Salman says, Ana ibn Islam. I am the son of Islam, what Rasulullah called me. And then he says, listen to this, this is beautiful. He says, listen, Ana Salman ibn Islam. I am Salman, the son of Islam. Kuntu dhallan fahadani Allahu bi Muhammadin. I was lost, and Allah guided me through His Habib. وَكُنْتُ آئِلًا فَأَغْنَانِيَ اللَّهُ بِمُحَمَّدٍ. And I was poor, Allah enriched me with Muhammad Mustafa. I had nothing. Rasulullah found me and guided me. I was poor, Rasulullah made me rich. وَكُنْتُ مَمْلُوكًا. And I was a servant, a slave. فَأَعْتَقَنِيَ اللَّهُ بِمُحَمَّدٍ. And Rasulullah came and he freed me. Because Rasulullah then frees him. When he accepts Islam, he says, call your master. He calls his master. He says, we want to free Salman. What will you take? He says, Salman is free to go when he plants me 3,000 palm trees. Did you know, for Salman, Rasulullah planted those trees himself. And not a single tree died. Because you plant a tree, some die. Some will grow and some will die. Rasulullah planted 3,000, 3,000 of them grew out. And I was a servant, I was a slave. My hands were tied. I was freed by the Habib of Allah. And then he says to him, oh, you who asked me, فَهَذَا حَسَبِي وَنَسَبِي. This is my hasab and nasab. This is who I am. This is what I take pride in. And for this reason, he became so close to the Prophet that when people would say Salman al-Farisi, the Imams would say, don't say Salman al-Farisi, say Salman al-Muhammadi. He's not Farisi anymore, he's left that. Salman minna ahl al-Bayt. Salman al-Muhammadi. Salman afdal min al-Luqman. These are all merits of Salman. And these come from who? Ma'asumeen. Infallibles. The only companion, by the way, the highest ranking companion in the eyes of Tashayyu, Salman. Why? Because he occupies the rank of Minna Ahl al-Bayt. He occupies the 10th rank of Iman. As he enters Islam, now look at this. He gets closer to the Prophet. He gets closer to the family of the Prophet. To the extent that he becomes one of the most valuable companions the Prophet has. The battle of, you know this, the battle of Khandaq. The Khandaq was dug at the advice of Salman. When Medina was surrounded, he said, look, we're Persians. When an enemy attacks us, we dig a trench, we dig a grave, no, a ditch. Ya Rasulullah. That's what we do. Rasulullah says, no problem. Salman said it, let's do it. You might say Rasulullah is Nabiullah, Habibullah, Afdalul Khalqa Ajma'in. Or in the battle of Taif, it was at the instructions of Salman that the Muslim built a catapult. You know where you put a rock and you throw it, minjanik, that apparatus that you throw at the castle, at the building. That was built at the advice of Salman. Same battle which then saved the Muslims. Because Amr ibn Awad crossed. Ali ibn Abi Talib finished him. But the rest of them could not make it. Because Salman had asked that trench to be dug. Now imagine this. As he grows into Islam, his ilm, his knowledge, his zuhd, his taqwa becomes clear. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum, the verse that I recited. He gets closer and closer. He would sit next to the Prophet. They would say, Ya Rasulullah, why is a Persian sitting next to you? Rasulullah says, not about race. It is about taqwa. Wherever you find, not about your tribe, not about where you come from, it is about taqwa. And so it came to a point that Rasulullah loved him so much. The Muhajirin would say he is from us. The Ansar would say he's from us. Why? The Muhajirun would say, look, we migrated from Makkah. He migrated from Isfahan. So he's from us. The Ansar would say, well, we were in Medina. And so was Salman. And he met the Prophet there. So he's from us. Rasulullah said, look, he's not from the Muhajirun. He's not from the Ansar. He's minna Ahlul Bayt. He's from us, Ahlul Bayt. Recite Salawat, please. So you will be into him. Now imagine this. As he grows, he becomes known for his worship. Rasulullah asks his companions, is there anyone amongst you who fasts every day of the year? Salman says, Ana ya Rasulullah. Then he says, oh my companions, oh my Sahaba, is there anyone amongst you who completes the Quran every day? Ana ya Rasulullah. And he says, is there anyone amongst you who worships all night, Qiyam bil-layl? Qala ana ya Rasulullah. When he said that, some of the companions could not digest it. They said, how is it that this Pharisee is ahead of us in all of the ibadat? Rasulullah says to him, be quiet. You don't know Salman. And he says to Salman, oh Salman, you explain to him. Salman says, listen, what is your issue? What do you not understand? He says to him, look, you said you pray every night. I've seen you sleep. He says to him, you say you read the Quran every day. I see you not reading. I see you're quiet. You say you fast every day of the year. I've seen you eating. He says, what is the matter? How is this possible? He says, look, does Allah not say in the Holy Quran, فَمَنْ جَاءَ بِالْحَسَنَةِ فَلَهُ الْأَشْرَ أَمْثَالِهَا. The one who comes with one hasana will give him 10. He says, every month I fast 3, which gives the sawab of the month. And so every month I fast 3 and get the sawab of the year. And then he says, what about the night prayer? I see you sleeping. He says, has the Messenger of Allah not said, anyone who sleeps with tahara, with wudu, gets the sawab of ibadah fil layl. Gets the sawab of the worship of all night. He says, there is never a night that I do not sleep with wudu. I always sleep, I'm da'im al wudu. I'm always in wudu. And then he says, what about khatm of Quran? He says, have you not heard Rasulullah say, the messenger of God say, the one who recites Qul Huwallahu Ahad 3 times, the one who recites Qul Huwallahu Ahad Surah Tawheed once, he gets 1/3 of the thawab. The one who recites twice, he gets 2/3 of the thawab. The one who recites 3 times, he completes the Holy Quran. I recited 3 times every day. And then he says, have you not heard Rasulullah say, oh Ya Ali, you are like Surah Tawheed in the Holy Quran. The one who expresses your love with his tongue has completed 1/3 of faith. The one who expresses your love, your muhabba, your mawadda with the tongue and the hand has completed 2/3 of the faith. And the one who expresses your love with his tongue, with his hand and with his heart has completed all of Iman. Now if this is the rank of the one who loves Ali ibn Abi Talib, then what is the rank of Kulli Iman Amirul Mu'mineen? What is the rank whom Rasulullah says on the day of Ahzab? Baraz al-Imanu kullih ala al-kufr kullih. It is to the love of Amirul Mu'mineen that Salman completes his faith and he reaches the highest rank, which is the 10th darajah of Iman. Right after him is Abu Dhar, right after him is Miqdad. But Salman passes through that. The ulama have discussed this. They said, why is it, out of all of the companions, Salman reaches the highest ranks of Iman? Inshallah, you're not tired, are you? No? Okay. Let's judge by your salawat. I still have 5-7 minutes or so to go, inshallah. The ulama say, why is the rank of Salman, surpassing everyone else? You know why? Because Salman was the only one who had permission to enter the house of Fatima. Because Salman had the highest ma'rifah of Sayyidah Fatima. No one was so close in terms of the ma'rifah of Fatima to Zahra like Salman was. That Salman would enter the house of Fatima. Salman would come and help Fatima to Zahra in her house. To the extent that one day, Salman enters the house of Sayyidah Fatima. He sees that there is a fire and food is being cooked. And someone is stirring, but there's no one there. And there's a broom and someone is brooming, but there's no one there. And Imam Hussain ﷺ is in the cradle and the cradle is moving, but there's no one there. And so he rushes back to the masjid of Rasulullah. He says, Ya Rasulullah, I saw something strange, ajib, in the house of Sayyidah Fatima. He said, what did you see? He says, the cradle's moving, someone's brooming, someone's cooking, there's no one there. Sayyidah is asleep in her room. He said, oh Salman, do you not know that the house of Sayyidah is the house which is the place of the nuzul of malaika? It is a place where the angels come and go. The one who was with Hussein is Jibreel. The one who's cooking is Mikael. Do you not know this is the house where the angels come from the arsh of Allah to serve the Lady of Light? In other words, the angels of Allah take honor that they serve the daughter of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that honor was then granted to Salman al-Muhammadi minna Ahl al-Bayt. Recite salawat, please. Very quickly, inshallah, I want to wrap this up so I can move on to a new companion tomorrow. Salman, after the Messenger of Allah's passing, remained loyal to the house of Ali and Fatima. He refused to give bay'ah to the first Khalifa. When the second Khalifa asked him, why do you not give bay'ah? Why do you not give allegiance? He says, أَنَا الشِّيعَةُ لَهُمْ. I am the Shia of Al-Muhammad. I am the Shia of Ali. If Ali gives bay'ah, I will give bay'ah. If Ali refuses bay'ah, I will refuse bay'ah. In other words, I am the muti of the hukm of my Mawla. I am the follower of what my Mawla says. If Ali does it, I'll do it. If Ali doesn't do it, I won't do it. Salman was the privileged ones who were allowed directly in the wasiyyat of Sayyidah to take part in the janazah of Sayyidah Fatima. In other words, he had permission when Sayyidah Zahra makes her wasiyah to Amirul Mu'minin, Ya Ali, Salman has permission to be in my janazah. And a handful of other close companions, which are in the wasiyah of Lady Fatima. Number 2, in the second caliphate, Salman takes the government or the rulership of Madain, where he passes away. His haram is in Madain. Many of you been for the ziyarah. Now the question is, why did Salman take Madain under the second caliphate, Khilafat Thani? Number 1, Salman first came and asked Amirul Mu'mineen, "Oh Mawla, do I have permission?" Amirul Mu'mineen then gave him permission. Why? Because Amirul Mu'mineen knew that Salman would do a good job there. And because of Salman being there, the ulama say that Tashayyu entered Iran from Madain because of Salman being there. Because Salman was so strict on the wilayat of Amirul Mu'mineen, that Salman would come out and he would say, "Aliyun khayrul bashar, man aba faqad kafar." Ali is the best of human beings. One who denies has disbelieved. And he would say there is no amal unless it comes to the door of wilayah of Amirul Mu'mineen. So Salman was directly involved in propagating the Shi'i faith in that area and in Iran. And so for this reason, many a times the imams would give permission, even though they would not accept the caliphs. I'll give you another example, the very famous example, in the time of Imam Musa ibn Ja'far al-Kazim alayhi salatu wassalam. You all heard of the name of his close companion Ali ibn Yaqtin. Ali ibn Yaqtin was a close Sahabi companion of Imam Musa ibn Ja'far alayhi salam, but yet he worked under the Caliph Harun. Why? Because he had permission from the Imam. And the Imams used them to propagate the Shia faith. The Imams used them to protect the lives of the Shia. Sometimes when Harun would want to kill, Ali ibn Yaqtin would step in. So no, leave them. So there was a reason. And so for this reason, Imam Ali alayhi salam said, "Salman, go take that position. At least that will be under your rule," which means under the rule of the Ahlul Bayt. Okay? He dies in Madain. And this is my last point, his death, inshallah. I'm coming back to where we started off. The body of Salman lays in Madain. The ulama have discussed the age. At what age did he die? One of the longest ages probably amongst the companions. Some have said up to 250 years Salman was. Because he was born many years before the Prophet. In fact, when Salman met the Prophet in Medina, Salman was an old man then. He wasn't young. So some of the ulama have written more than 200 years this man lived. Some have said more. In Madain he passes away. Now here is an interesting mu'jaza, miracle of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. Salman is in Madain, Ali is in Medina. Now the tradition is interesting. Salman passes away, Amirul Mu'mineen comes to the masjid and he says, "The Abd of Allah, Salman has left this dunya." And you know what the historians say? That there are rawayat that have come from the Ma'sumeen. Inna Salman kana musliman, hanifan abdan salihan, wa ma kana min al-mushrikeen. Salman was a abdu salih, mu'min, muslim, hanif. وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ, and he was never a mushrik. Some of the ulama say that he never even bowed to the fire. Because he had this truth-seeking personality. And this is what every person should have, Sunni or Shia. How do you find the truth? You're going to think outside the box. Not that this is what I've been brought up with. This is what I grew up in. This is the family I was raised by. I was raised a Christian. I was raised a Sunni. I was raised a Zoroastrian. Even as a Shia, I was raised a Shia. The truth-seeking heart says what? No, I may have been raised that. but I'll research and I'll find out what the reality is. And if I'm on the haqq, then I'll only become stronger in my own faith. This is what led to Salman moving from Isfahan and ending up in Madain. Because he had this heart where he has to find the haqq. And Rasulullah says, Aliyun ma'al haqqi wal haqqu ma'ali. Salman found haqq where? He found it in the feet of Ali ibn Abi Talib. That truth, and that's a practical step for us, that we must have a truth-seeking person, a heart which is only concerned with what is haqq. Not personalities. Sometimes people run after personalities. That person, Mr. X, Mr. Y, Mr. Z. No. Because if that Mr. falls one day, he will take you with him. But when if you look for haqq, haqq never falls. Ali never falls. My last point, and inshallah I won't keep you too long. I know the iftar puts you to sleep, so I won't test you any longer. MashaAllah, you've been very responsive. He lay on his deathbed. Ali comes on the member of Medina. And he says that Salman has left this dunya in Madain. I'll go to Salman. This is when the historians say he's finished Salatul Fajr. He finishes Salatul Fajr, he says, I'll go to Madain. I'll do his ghusl, kafan and dafan. I'll bury him, shroud him and pray over him. He does all of that. And it's not even Zohr yet and Ali is back. The Khawarij and the Munafiqeen didn't believe him. They said, no, Ali has lied. How is it possible? Medina and Madain. You know, where Medina and where Madain? But when a letter comes from Madain to Medina, saying Salman al-Farisi, the governor of Madain, has passed away. His body lay there until a man came from Medina who had the niqab on his face. He shrouded him, prayed over him and buried him, and then he disappeared. It is then the Munafiqeen believed in Ali ibn Abi Talib. And I leave you with this. Fast forward many years later, one of the Khulafa of Bani Abbas, he once came to the shrine of Salman for ziyarah. And with him was a Shia scholar of Kufa, Marhum Izzuddin ibn Aqsasi al-Kufi, one of the ulama, old ulama of Kufa. He entered the shrine of Salman al-Farsi and the Khalifa of that time, the Abbasi Khalifa. This was after Ghaiba, the Abbasi Khalifa, because you know, Abbasi Khilafat went all the way up to Halaku Khan. When Halaku Khan attacked Baghdad, then the Abbasids fell, the grandson of Genghis Khan. So this Shia scholar enters here, and this Khalifa of Bani Abbas of that time, he enters there, and he looks, and he stands in front of the shrine of Salman, and he says something disrespecting the Shia. He says, oh Salman, the Shia Ghalis, they say that Ali in one night came from Medina to Madain to bury you, and then he went back. And this is something that's only been made up because of their ghulu. Now this Shia scholar was sitting there, and he was also an excellent poet. In those days you could not be a scholar without being a poet. It was something different. So now he replies to him in a poem. The mafhum, or the translation, the rough translation of it is as follows. He says, look, when the Shia said that Ali ibn Abi Talib came from Medina to Madain in one night, you're baffled and you're amazed. Yet when the Quran says that Asif ibn Barkhia, within the blink of an eye, went from Baytul Maqdas to Yemen to get Takht Bilqis, the queen, the throne of the Queen of Sheba, and bring it back. That is acceptable. So when the Shia say it, it's ghulu. But when you say it about Asif ibn Barkhia, it's acceptable. So is it ghulu or are you lying? Which one is it? Is it fair that when you say the same thing about Asim ibn Barkhia, it's totally fine because it's in the Quran? And yet Ali, who is the Khairul Awsiya, Sayyidul Awsiya, if Rasulullah is Sayyidul Anbiya, Ali is Sayyidul Awsiya. If Rasulullah is greater than Sulaiman Nabi, Ali is greater than Asim ibn Barkhia. So if Asim ibn Barkhia can do it in the blink of an eye, Ali can do it in shorter than that. And so here it was, the honor of this learned man. And the Imams would say, we love Salman. Why, Yabna Rasulullah, do you love Salman? Because Salman used to love ilm. Salman used to love knowledge. Salman had ma'rifah. Salman had a thirst for knowing. Salman had a thirst for understanding. Why do you love Salman? The hadith says, if the knowledge was in the sky, you would find Salman would reach there. Why do you love Salman? Because Salman was a true lover of Al Muhammad. Why do you love Salman? Because Salman was our main loyal supporter and protector. Where Salman would not go a step forward unless it was the izn of the Mawla. And so this was a brief insight into the life of Salman al-Farisi al-Muhammadi ibn Islam. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, give us tawfiq to implement the teachings of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad in our lives. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq to continue to fast for the rest of the month of Ramadan. Ya Allah, give us tawfiq to continuously worship and make the most of the holy month of Ramadan. Forgive us our major and minor sins. Ya Rabbil Alameen, those who have sponsored the majlis tonight, bless their marhumeen in Jannah with Amirul Mu'minin alayhi salam and the ashab of Imam Amirul Mu'minin. Ya Rabbil Alameen, in dunya give us tawfiq of ziyarat of Imam Hussein, and in akhirat give us tawfiq of the shafaat of Imam Hussein, and make Imam Sahib al-Zaman razi with us, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin salawat.
Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya Ibn Rasulallah. Assalamu alayka ya Ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen wa Ibn Sayyid al-Wasin. Assalamu alayka ya Ibn Astaana-e-Zehra ya Sayyidat Nisa al-Alameen. Assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn wa ala awlad al-Husayn wa ala ashab al-Husayn. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Assalamu alayka ya Abul Fazl al-Abbas ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen wa Qasim ibn al-Hasan wa Muslim ibn Aqil wa Hani ibn Urwa wa Habib ibn Mazahir wa al-Hurr al-Shaheed Riyahi. Assalamu alaykum jami'an shuhada'i Karbala wa asiran Karbala wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Assalamu alayka ya Gharib al-Ghuraba. Assalamu alayka ya Mu'in al-Zufa'i wal-Fuqara. Assalamu alayka ya Mughis al-Shiyati wal-Zawar fi Yawm al-Jaza. As-Sultan ya Abul Hasan ya Ali ibn Musa al-Raza. Ruhi wa jismi lakal fida wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Assalamu alayka ya Mawla ya Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman. Al-Aman, Al-Aman, Al-Aman. Assalamu alayka ya Khalifat al-Rahman. Assalamu alayka ya Sharik al-Quran. Assalamu alayka ya Mazhar al-Iman. Assalamu alayka ya Imam al-Ins wal-Jan. Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajak wa sahlallahu ta'ala makhrajak wa zahurak. وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْ آبَانِكُ وَأَنْصَارِكُ رَحْمَةُ اللَّهِ وَبَرَكَاتُهُ الصَّلَوَاتُ.